Hi, I'm Julie. I am an autistic researcher, and I wanted to talk a little bit about some controversy recently about whether taking Tylenol or acetaminophen during pregnancy could increase the chance of autism in children. It's a really big claim, and it has sparked, I think, a lot of debate. So, in this video, I kind of want to just step back, look at what is being said, what the research tells us so far, and why it's kind of worth paying attention to how we are framing conversations like this one. So, yesterday, some public health leaders and policymakers started raising concerns about Tylenol use during pregnancy. They point to studies that suggest an association between acetaminophen and autism. And as a result, they're encouraging caution and even considering some new warning labels for Tylenol. So that's one perspective. And for a lot of people, it sounds very reasonable. If there's any risk at all, why not just avoid it, right? Um, I think that in science, this is where nuance really matters. So there are some small studies that find associations, meaning that children whose mothers took acetaminophen during pregnancy were more likely to be diagnosed with autism. But association is not the same as causation. Often and likely, there are other factors at play. For example, the reason that someone took Tylenol in the first place, like having a fever or an infection or another kind of illness during pregnancy, might be the actual driver, not the fact that they took Tylenol, right? And large, carefully designed studies, like the one from Sweden that you may have heard about, that has followed over 2.4 million children. And it found no evidence that Tylenol use itself increases autism risk. So the scientific picture is mixed and I think is far from settled, certainly far from settled enough to make really big changes to recommendations. And I think that this is where communication really matters. If the message is simply Tylenol causes autism, that can create a lot of fear or guilt or confusion for pregnant people who are making just everyday health decisions for themselves. And I think it also puts people at risk of overshadowing known risks, like an untreated fever in pregnancy. We know that is harmful. So, oversimplification, like making statements like this, um, can really start to erode trust if people hear strong claims that later turn out to be incomplete. They may start doubting all of their health advice, even the guidance that's really well established. So, what do we do with this? Right now, the evidence that we have does not prove that Tylenol causes autism. Some studies are raising questions that are worth exploring, but the picture is complicated. There are a lot of factors involved. Um, and the best step now, if you are pregnant, is to talk with your doctor about when Tylenol is appropriate, because I think maybe the bigger lesson here is that health science is not black and white. Most of the time, it's about weighing potential risks and benefits and uncertainties and making the best decision we can with the evidence that we do have. And I think to close, autism, like just human health more broadly, is really complex. When we try to reduce it to one simple cause, we really miss that complexity. And I think by staying curious and asking good questions and grounding our decisions in good evidence, we can protect health without creating unnecessary fear. So thanks for being with me while we kind of unpack these conversations. I'll keep sharing some updates as the story develops and have a couple more videos probably on the way today. So in the meantime, I hope that you will make room for each other, have some grace, and I will see you soon. Bye.